Now, the Eastern Cape Health Department is denying allegations of PPE tender fraud. A media report claims it awarded a R1 million contract to a man who died 2 years ago, but the department says the company's director is alive and is not the person named in that particular article. It was also reported that some organizations on that list of contractors say they were never awarded tenders. To discuss all this further, I'm joined by Eastern Cape's Health Superintendent-General Thobile Mbengashe. Dr. Mbengashe, thank you so much for joining us this morning. So you're saying that article, which was in the Daily Dispatch, is full of falsehoods and borders on in absurdity. Let's just start with this this 2KS construction. The one that that article is saying the director, the sole director of that company, who was paid R1 million, was he died 2 years back. You're saying this is another falsehood.
Yes. It's quite unfortunate. It's really, I mean, everything about that report is wrong. First, the case is not actually a company that was offered PPE. It is a company that was offered work to do at the Victoria Hospital for minor repairs, and that work was done between the company and Public Works on behalf of the department. And the owner of the company and the company is actually alive and is doing the work at Public Works. Therefore, it was actually quite bizarre how this was actually brought across. So that's really important. I think the second big issue, which we think is a very basic issue, is that Department of Health offers contracts with companies, and companies have got directors. It's the responsibility of directors to clarify their directors, and if someone died as a member of a company, it's the director that needs to go and tell CIPRO that the person is dead. And the third issue is that CCSD, which is really the provincial treasury entity that really clears up companies, and we can only contract with companies that have been cleared through that CCSD. So even around those terms, the story was totally wrong.
They also claim that in the very same story that ghost companies got paid millions and millions of rands. Go to the accounts, you'll be shocked by who benefited. Basically, they're saying ghost companies were paid millions and millions of rands. Obviously, what they are basically saying is that that money probably went somewhere else. What is your take about that?
I think this is also very, strongly denied, and I think this story about R1 million rands for a dead company was trying to prop up that story. The key issue, really, our system is very hard and very controlled. One is that we have to offer tenders through a process of tendering, and once we have got a tender, you get an award. The award simply states that you have been successful both on the specification, functionalities, and you have beaten others on the price. And when that has been done, then you are logged in our system, which is called the locus system, and it's the system that issues you with a purchase order. We will not pay you unless we have issued you with a purchase order and you have made a delivery, and that has been verified, and you are paid according to the quantities and the prices that it is. So there is no millions of rands that could be paid to anyone without actually delivering the services to the department.
Okay, so let's go to the source of the story, which is the publication of the PPE supplier list. You published that PPE supplier list, is that correct?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay, so they're looking at the names, and all these figures are coming from that supplier list, because they're also saying another businessman or another company who is on that supplier list that you yourselves published said that his company had been paid. It listed that his company has been paid 1.13 million, yet he is saying that's not true at all. So if a businessman says that is my company, that is my name there, but I've not been paid that, so was your information incorrect?
No. Actually, the list has been a very important part as part of the fight against corruption. And I think it's really created transparencies. Right now, every person in the Eastern Cape can go and check to whom have we done business with. And I'm going to speak directly to the gentleman who actually said he wasn't paid. Again, you will not be paid until you have delivered. What we know, and we've really looked through into this, and we know that he was part of the 10 companies that were offered an award for delivering of the N95 mask. Two, that in that award, he also got an award for that amount. And then 3, that the award was then logged on the CCSD, which he has got access within his profile, that he could now deliver those quantities. He is not paid because he hasn't delivered anything, and he will not be paid until he delivers those N95. So the notion that you get an award for, say, for 2 million, it doesn't mean you're going to get 2 million unless you've delivered the quantities at the price and specification that's actually required. So the order is still open. We've seen it in our system. He is still free to deliver those N95 if he has them. And once he has delivered them, he will be paid for those if they're the right quality and quantity. So there's really no issue. All he needed to do is to ask, excuse me, you offered me this award. Can I deliver my quantities? So there is no notion that he was paid. The only thing the award says, you have an award of this amount to deliver these quantities, and therefore you must deliver them, and then you'll be paid.
Okay, the person that we are speaking about is the owner of Associates Logistics JV. That's the person you're referring to. He also goes on to say this is the work of a syndicate within the provincial government. This is corruption that has been committed by a syndicate. This needs to be exposed. What is your comment to that?
No, I mean, if he has got information, this is really what we encourage. The list was intended to do exactly that. If someone has got information about corruption, syndication, the person has got a responsibility, as a duty, as a citizen, to report the matter to the police. And that's really where this matter should go. It shouldn't really be treated as if it's some gossip somewhere. It should really go straight to the police and to the SIU, because the president has set up an SIU to investigate all these things. In terms of what transparency is, we've put the list to assist South Africans to go into the list and says, look, we know this person is a crook or someone else has done this, and they must bring it forward and report it to the police or the SIU to investigate.
All right, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us there, Dr. Thobile Mbengashe, who's the Superintendent-General in the Eastern Cape Health Department. Is now